Hey folks, how's it going? Welcome back to the Cards and Castles video. Today, TV commentary lined up yet again for some more amazing matches from those who are grinding out on the community tab still, getting those ranked leader points. Especially because at the moment, it might be the last time some people log into Cards and Castles 1. With Cards and Castles 2 about 9 days away, it is up for debate on whether or not we're going to see a mass migration from CNC 1, which I doubt, to be honest, because mobile won't be released. Mobile player base will still have to enjoy Cards and Castles 1 for a little while longer before Cards and Castles 2 hits the board for them. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. In the meantime, people have been playing some games still. Let's see what they're up to. Let's see if there's anyone celebrating or prepping with their own ways for the madness and the chaos that is Cards and Castles 2. Starting, of course, as always, with match number 1. Alright, and game number 1 underway as we've got KOPCAK taking on Zalium, a yellow-blue taking on a yellow-white. And honestly, a lot of yellows going around on TV today when I was looking for games for this episode. I don't know what it is, but I guess people are picking up a lot of yellow for whatever reason, which is quite interesting. We'll see how far that gets them. But yellow, of course, has a very strong lineup of tools, which we're seeing here. Books, Kraxus, Priest, all fantastic tools for any faction deck or faction combo running yellow. And we'll see KOP take advantage of that, going with that Priest turn 2 and the Books turn 3 for some nice follow-up here. The Zalium's Guards, which will, of course, be traded both into the Priest, which is interesting because I don't usually see Guards in yellow per white. Usually the Guards are for yellow-blue with synergies with Reanimate like you're seeing in KOP's hand right now, actually. We did not get any chance to really use the Reanimate well here. So we're going to hold off on using that for now, and we'll see how Zalium's going to respond here. We will see a Crumbling Archive. Why did I almost say Flying Archive? Alright, Jesus. Anyway, Lumberjack into Faithful Drake. Gonna yield another Lumberjack here. Reanimate on the single Lumberjack to get some value from it. I think hoping for a Wraith, but actually getting the Horseman, which pops the Archive. Not a bad trade there, cutting off the draw. Although, I guess, again, he did want a big old Wraith to kind of swing for big damage here. Don't mind my poor mouse placement of Arbiters there for a second. Lumberjack into the Peasant, which I think is interesting here. Same with the Horseman, going for that double Reanimate, which is nice. We could have Armoried to protect or make a more even trade with the Lumberjack and protect the Horseman. But seeing the Reanimate in hand, it does make sense. Unlucky, though, without the Wraith in tow. Would have liked to have that big support, but instead getting the Horseman and Banshee, which aren't the worst. Fat Bard, meanwhile, from Zalium and the Courthouse as well, setting up for some global shenanigans, I guess. I mean, that is the idea of yellow-white, so getting buffs out as soon as they can to try to overpower the enemy. But we'll see KOP ignore that, going Banshee into the face for 4. Another Archives from Zalium into the Priest. Will clean out the Banshee quite nicely. The Fat Bard as well can take out the Horseman, which he is going to go for, which I think is a little risky here. Removing an Equalizer to the Armory is tough, but the upkeep can be harder, especially if Zalium does need the resources on this board here. Sheep to the Slaughter on Flying Books is nice, create that little double chain action, as well as removing the enemy draw off of the Archive for a second time. Swordsman coming in, bopping the Books, though, clearing off the board here. To be expected. Not that big of a deal, though, although Swordsman is quite nice. Yenneroth coming in. Big old freeze energy here, kind of freezing off the board, which I guess is the smarter thing to do with, Lich, Yenneroth, and Kraxus being the only units in hand. I think at this point we're trying to stall out for Arbiters. Now, here's where I do want to take a moment to mention that they did misplay this slightly here. They could have actually won with the Arbiters. Arbiters could have come in and bopped the Swordsman, clearing it off the board. It doesn't kill the Yenneroth. All of the judgment, I think, goes on to the Arbiter, but it wouldn't matter because Yenneroth walks down, chips away here for the remaining 7 plus the 1 from Temple to end of the game. I don't know if you didn't see that, but I did notice that, as you'll see here. He goes for the Lich play instead, killing off the Frog Prince, taking the judgment damage, and killing off said Frog. Clearly just a case of probably missed lethal here. It is a shame. It does sometimes escape us, but Just something to pick up on, because Yenneroth would have been able to make this kind of walk to kill the castle if we had connected with the Arbiter. But I guess he was scared of swordsman cleave, judgment damage, maybe. That's my assumption. I don't think that's true, but just putting it out there is something that we could have, that probably would have explained why we missed lethal. Or we just simply missed lethal. Anyways, Spiny plus the Bard now coming out, going to hit the Lich, which is a nice hit. Will freeze off the Yenneroth, as well as taking out the Armory, which again is good to kind of weaken things out here. Although Zalium doesn't have a lot of catch-up to play if he's going into the castle now. And if we can see the Rat King already from Cops and make this defense a bit, or this offense, excuse me, a bit harder. Considering that Rat King now, yep, we remove the Bard. Swordsman takes a bit more damage onto him, and Disintegrate actually will kill off said Swordsman, kind of leaving nothing in our path. And only, I think, one card to go from Zalium because we are in top deck mode. Lumberjack coming out as well, and the Rat moving forward. All 3 Lightning Blades in hand, which I will say is a nice little touch there. All evenly lined up too, which is cool. Lumberjack, of course, going to go ahead and cycle. We do need anything more to help us. Horseman going to hit the castle. Unfortunately, not able to pick up the Yenneroth because the 3 damage is not enough. And of course, Yenneroth walks in for some big Ungus Bungus. We could have ended the game with Lightning Blade, but at this point, it's just kind of rude. And Zalium, I think, has had enough and surrenders, walks away. Could have been the end of the game anyway, but Cop was being a bit BM-like, in my opinion. But hey, it happens sometimes. It happens. So, of course, Reanimate taking the W here in our first opener. Not bad of a showcase. I did like how those small bits of Reanimate helped keep momentum for Cop to keep the game going for him. And ultimately pick up that win here. Again, missed lethal a bit earlier in the game, but maybe just something that he did not see at that time. Regardless, fantastic showing from Cop, and we will go into game number 2 to see what else is in store for us. Alright, and game number 2 sees Captain Classic taken on carymax. A bit of a mono ninja showcase. Very curious to see what these guys have in store, so you know the drill. Let's get into it and see what the mono ninja player has for us in terms of goodies. Right now, Where Rat is the only ninja card I'm seeing. I'm seeing a whole lot of neutral from this dude, but I mean, okay, maybe is a barbarian. Okay, I don't know if perhaps we're looking at a starter deck. Well, not starter deck, because, you know, it's not one of the 3 given, but maybe something along the lines of a more neutral-focused ninja support type of deck here. Because, of course, neutral does have a lot of strong, solid cards. We'll see the Wizard come out, immediately catch a blue Firebolt for his trouble, which sucks, but hey, what you gonna do? And Classic, meanwhile, with that Priest, gonna go ahead and move in, do some Priestin. That's not a proper... Anyways, Drain Life here, hitting the castle, gonna give that Priest a 5/4, just enough to make a clean trade with the Barbarian. Nice that he uses the damage on the castle, knowing that the math is enough, but of course that does just mean simple math is happening. Into the Demon Hunter from Carry now. We met with a Molten Pillar. Nice defense here. Means if the Demon Hunter gets to the castle, it will die, which of course looks like Carry has no fear of. I would like to see a replacement technique come out here. That would have been cool, but looks like we're not going to get that. Unfortunately, the Demon Hunter does blow up to the Molten Pillar damage. Unfortunate. But we'll see if that's part of Carry's plan. Incinerate onto the Trapdoor Ninja. I guess setting it up for maybe a Dragon's Fire. Hard to say. Or just looking to kill it with the potential Imp damage. But regardless, Armory's going to come down here. Make sure that any unit can survive the Imp damage here. But of course, that means it does get traded with the Imp. Doesn't matter. Dragon's Fire does clear Imp trades with the remaining soldier to allow for a clean board. The power of Warlocks, just burning everything and leaving nothing standing. Typical Warlock shenanigans. Into the Morlock, though, in turn 8 is Carry going here. We will see, excuse me, the Arcanine General. Nice use of the Molten Pillar Last Will to get a cool little combo there to kill off the Morlock in 1 rather than 2 shots. And you're going to hit the board now as a result. Popping into the General, which I think is kind of not the correct play. I would have assumed that Wraith was the call there. Wraith has the health to survive that. And then you put Andrew out and it gets the additional stats from the Last Will trigger. Plus, I think that there might be more Last Will in a deck like this. I know Molten Pillar is probably not the only... Well, I mean, it might be the star of the show with Arcanine General, maybe. But I feel like there's many more last will targets within these colors that Captain could be running that allows Carry to get a lot more value off of that Giant than just trading it with General because you want a bigger 4/9 body, which isn't even being pushed up, by the way. It's just kind of hanging out. A second Molten Pillar, though, from the Captain is going to make things a bit tougher for Carry on this board. It's going to be real annoying to navigate now. Ronan going to go ahead and take a shot for 5, which, I mean, I guess he can do. But again, that does mean that the Ronan gets, popped by the first Molten Pillar. Now everything is kind of just left to deal with the Wraith, which I'm pretty sure for this deck is not going to be a hard task. There is the Arcanine General. General kills off the Wraith thanks to the combo of the Last Will Molten Pillars. And the Darkbender kind of just chilling for now. Because obviously if he moves forward, the Last Will gets him as well. Which, I think, at this point, you create a worse board state for everyone by just having these two pillars the way that they are. We'll see if there is any plans to go further with that. But now both players, of course, taking a bit of a slower game, as you can see here, because of the pillar damage. That no one really wants to advance until they can really get rid of something. And neither party looks like it can do that right now. We could maybe use the Ronin and the Werat to pop one of these pillars, because they are annoying regardless. Or Shaman. I could see Shaman becoming a useful remover for these. The Shaman plus the Werat actually currently on the board would actually make sense to pop that top Molten Pillar. But I think it's the bottom one that's being a bit more of a pain. Arbiter's Return is going to be big here. Not only does that trigger healing the castle, but the accompanying Detonate behind that to do a lot of damage. Pop the Werat, nearly kill off the Green Drake and the Swordsman, and bring the castle down to 5 HP. Putting Carry on a big clock. We now see that they are going to, of course, just trade in the Green Drake into the Molten Pillar alongside the Ronin, getting rid of it. Pegacorn is actually nice here. I would have liked this Pegacorn to go up here and pop the Pillar. Pegacorn's immune to damage from Pillar. So if we were to trade that in, the Rainbow Shoe would have protected it, and it would have been another threat for Captain to deal with. Although I think in Carry's mind, even if the Pillar was traded off, the combo of General plus Darkbender would have killed it. Although at that point, the Swordsman doesn't really matter because you can see General can just walk down and pop it. Maybe a bit of a tough call, but we would have removed the Pillar if we had just put it up here and connected, because that would have been much more beneficial. Even though there's not much game left anyway, I think this is maybe Carry's way of showing that they don't feel like they can come back from it. But we'll see. We'll see. Another trap going down. Things are being repositioned. Probably another Detonate, maybe? I don't know. Lumberjack being put into block for the Grendel as well. I don't think it matters too much, though, because we can go ahead, Pegacorn, and yeah, the General right there. Trap card activated. It's going to be the Detonate, which we already kind of predicted. Funny how the General, funny how the General triggered the Grendel Last Will effect to give his own Pegacorn a little boost there. That's kind of cute. But at this point, we're looking at the castle damage. There really isn't much left that Carry can do. Throws out a Shadow Drake just because. But yeah, the timer will tick down. And of course, the sudden death will take Carry to 0 on the following turn. Burning Sun to remove the buffs. I don't think anyone really had... Oh, the 2/2 from the Grendel on the Pegacorn. Yeah, that's kind of cute, but not really mattering too much. And of course, Rat King going to come out now, leaving a whole lot of trading to do. I think Captain is trying to see how much he can clear the board, but it doesn't matter. The Salahar lands on the castle anyway, meaning that the Captain does pick up a victory here. Very nicely done, the classic Last Will style, in my opinion. A lot of classic plays and a lot of classic strategies from that time. Honestly, very funny to see, or to still see, how well Arbiter Detonate still works in the current format. Even with the Arbiter obviously now being a 9 gold, and that was its way of actually preventing that same turn combo with Detonate and Arbiter when Arbiter was at 7 gold. It's still interesting to see how effective, that combo really is. Very dangerous, very potent, and one that can yield a ton of damage. 9 damage out of the fly like that? Very, very scary. 5, that being AoE explosion. Ugh. Very, very, very scary indeed. But with that being said, folks, that does conclude match number 2. We still have one more to get to, so Let's go ahead and get to match number 5. All right, and game number 3 sees Cyborg taking on Zechknight. A bit of a top 10 clash, if you will. Cyborg reigning in our number 9 spot, Zek at number 5. We'll see what both these players bring to the table. Another appearance from Yellow Red taking on Ninja Crusaders. So again, a lot of yellow in the format, but hey, we'll see if they can do well and provide one of these players a solid win that they might need. Right, I'm going to go ahead and take a chip at the castle here, being responded to by Cultist, which is interesting. You don't really see Cultist too much. Good to see his little ghostly form out here. Hitting the rider, connecting with it, the damage goes to the Cultist, which honestly isn't a big deal, considering the Cultist does survive. Imp Burn hits one of the guards too, which is nice. Keeping a ranged unit alive is much better than the guard. But maybe this is a balanced deck, seeing as how we have ninjas involved, so maybe not as good to lose one of those guards. Regardless. We do see Priest coming in now, getting a little heal for the rest of the team, which is nice. And of course, passing on that. Flamestorm, though, nice job at clearing out the remainder of the board here. Everything except one of those guards is gone now, deleted, if you will. And we'll see if the Lumberjack gets traded with the guard. Cyborg set him up for it, not going to do it himself, which makes sense. So we'll see the guard into Lumberjack. Yielding a Salahar Rider, which is neat, alongside the Shaman, if we want to go that route for more aggressive in-your-face nonsense, which looks like that is the way. We're going to send the Salahar behind the Shaman up front to lead the assault. Vanishing Strike. So, yes, it is going to be a bounce deck here. Bounce deck. Oy vey. Coming in, we should use the Flying Book get replayed off the Vanishing Strike. Alright, I don't know how well the bounce fares in this matchup, but you know what, I'm into it. Let's see where it goes. Blacksmith now for the Flying Books. Another Priest coming out, again more just generic Crusader good stuff. Also very good bounce targets. Priest is a nice target to send back to the hand for some more healing. We'll see the Priest get pushed back though because of the fear. Banshee coming up, doing 3 to face. Mischievous Imp coming out. So now I think Zek is just attempting a conga line of dudes. I think that's the game plan here. Rat King. Okay, thankfully no Mystic Journey or Lightning to be seen, so we are safe for a bit. Do see the Rats trading in, getting rid of things. Priest gets popped, unfortunately, due to the Salahar effect. Shadowlands on the Rat King is a nice way to say that I have pseudo Mystic Rat in a way. The original, if you will, actually. Because now I can just replay the Rat King, get all those rats again, and kind of clear a board for some big value. The Imp going to go ahead, chip away for 3 at the castle. The other units, the Drake and the Earth Knight, doing some cleanup. Rat King coming out on the board now, popping the Mischievous Imp, and of course probably popping the Earth Knight too, I want to assume. Yep, there goes the Earth Knight. Into the Shaman blocker as well. Okay, alright. Not bad. Into the Lumberjack for the last of the gold here, passing it back over to Zek. In Zek's response, he decides to run and pass, which I don't blame him. The hand isn't looking too spiffy. The Flamestorm should be held because we know that he has another Rat King, or at least the original Rat King, still in his hand, I believe. Oh, the Arbiter into the Shadow Bounce. Now collecting the Judge for his own use. Frozen Aura. Okay, that's fine. Into the Banshee and the Priest. The Priest is definitely needed to get these guys HP up just a little bit. Nice that we didn't move the Earth Knight to potentially have it killed off by something bigger than it. Nice here to kind of just hold that Shaman in place so he can't do anything unless he's got to fortify. Which, I mean, we've seen some main deck fortifies in the day, so it's not totally out of the realm of possibility. The Priest here will trade with the Shaman. The Banshee will probably finish it off. Oh no, Flamestorm actually going to do the finishing touches. Clearing off a lot of the board, including the rats and the... what did we just get rid of? I was just there like 5 seconds ago. Shaman! Jesus Christ. The Shaman. Yes, remove the Shaman. And now that the Flamestorm's out of hand, Cyborg now going to go freely use that Rat King once again to kind of put out some troops onto the board. Into the Lumberjack as well. Into the Lumberjack part 2. Okay. Any more Lumberjacks? No. Okay. No. I think he's exhausted all of his Lumberjacks, so he's choosing not to go any further. Banshee into the Rat King to send it back to the hand so Earth Knight can remain uncontested. Shroud for the Earth Knight as well. A bit bold here, but also coming back and freezing off this Arbiter, or this Judge, excuse me. I keep forgetting they're called Judge in C1. Freezing off the Judge, which makes sense. It's a big body that right now we can't entirely deal with. Defective Flame Cannon is going to cost, or is only going to result in 2 damage, not 3, so... yeah, it's not looking good for our friend, especially now with the Throne of Emperor coming into play. That's going to do some incredible damage if we can get something like a Shadow Slip or another Shadow Bounce out. Okay, yep, Judgment will kill off the Priest here. The Bolt going on to the Rat King, which again, very bold for these times. Very bold indeed. Meanwhile, everything else kind of getting frozen off here, so Zek can survive, doing the best in the stall that he possibly can. The Cultist will pop into the Earth Knight, so will that top rat here, Lumber hitting face. That's all it can really reach. And a pass back once again. Does not have the final blows in hand to deal with that Earth Knight. Not the end of the world here, but definitely not what I thought we were going in. Shaman for more draw, which is nice. Cleaning up the only active unit on our side of the board here for the enemy, and that is that last Lumberjack, I believe, right? Or a Lumberjack. And into the Earth Knight. Earth Knight swinging off, taking rid of the weakest red, I believe, at 3-1. As damage kicks down, damage continues to tick down further and further here. We do need a big comeback. Shadow Slip into the hand, and that is going to be a lot of bigger creatures. Lumberjack coming out once again. The Blacksmith now at a 6-7. I assume we can use a rat to pop off. Yeah, the Molten Pillar. There goes that. Simple as can be. Cultist coming back out, saying hello with a 7-7. The rat at another 6-5, popping the Earth Knight very easily. And again, with red-yellow, there is no way to kind of get them all together for some big chain damage. So this is kind of like one of the situations where Zek has to watch everything build up to inevitably get stomped on, which I think is going to happen here. No way that the Arbiter can breach castles. So with that being said, that's going to be it. And game number 3 concluded against Zek Cyborg. Incredible win from you, my guy. Very nicely done, showcasing the bounce stuff and how that is still potentially relevant. Bounce is one of those things that kind of gets overlooked a lot because it's very hard to pull off and not as reliable when going up against some of the other more consistent big boys. Good to see that bounce get some representation though in CTV today. Picks up a good W. A lot of fun stuff there with the Shadow Slip and the bounce choices. Because bounce choices are just as important as some of the gameplay choices you make when thinking about a bounce deck. So it is important to kind of keep those in the back of your head. But overall, yeah, that's going to do it from me. I think what we should do is probably throw it out to our outro and close up this video quite nicely. Alright, folks, with that being said, another episode of TV comes to a close. Let me know what you guys thought about today's decks by leaving your thoughts in the comment section below. And while you're down there, if you haven't done so already, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Do all of that fun stuff. And remember, Cards and Castles 2 is about 9 days, I think 9 days away from me putting this out here. 8 or 9 days away. So, with that in mind, be sure to wishlist the Cards and Castles for when it gets a revamp. You'll be notified. As well as just trying out the game on the 20th. Join us for a big celebration here on the channel as well over on Twitch. We're going to be celebrating with a lot of Cards and Castles 2 gameplay. Hope to see you there. But regardless, until next time, folks, that'll be it for me for now. So, stay gaming.